name's Haley. Welcome to my channel. I help people build a life that they are proud of by listening to their heart. And today I want to talk about a quote that I just love, which is, "Everything you ever wanted is on the other side of fear." I think it was Eleanor Roosevelt, but I should look it up, but I just love this quote because it's so true. And I want to share a story from my life demonstrating this truth, right? So, a little backstory to this story. When I was 24, I think, ish, I got broken up with by my very first boyfriend, and it pretty much utterly destroyed me for a little while. I took it extremely hard. And one of the things that he said, when I asked him, like, why are you breaking it with me, like reasons, etc. One of the things he said was that he thought at least, that I would end up living in a van down by the river. And he meant it not in a positive light. Like, he meant it like SNL skit style, where it's like, I would be one of the bums living down by the river. That's the direction my life was heading, according to him. And he didn't want to be a part of that. But all I heard was van down by a river. And I started thinking, how cool would that be? I could have a house and it could move and it could park by a river and it would be really pretty when I got up in the morning. Like, it's not a bad idea. And I became very, very obsessed with this idea of moving into a van or an RV or some such thing. But I told myself that I was going to save up for the down payment for one of these guys. But I never really did. Like, it took me like 3 years after this. I was still living in an apartment. I was still really wanting my RV, but I had not purchased an RV. I had not really saved any money. I hadn't really pulled the trigger on anything. And I was working for a company in Houston, and I'd been working for them a little over a year. And I'm the kind of person who, I get bored easy, so like the idea of working for the same tech company for over a year, like I was bored at that point. And then I got a new manager, and my new manager was trying to like micromanage me and make changes I didn't like to the company. And I finally just like quit. Like, I didn't have anything lined up. I just quit. Or at least I tried to quit. They did convince me to stay on a few more months because like I was a good employee and my benefits were going to vest and anyway. So, but I told him I was no longer working in the office after that, like that day. I'm like, I'm going home and I'm not coming back. If you want me to work remotely for a couple months, I can do that. So I did. That was the, what happened. I called my mom and I'm like, can I move home? Like, I don't know what I'm going to do, and I'm probably going to move back to Austin. But can I like stay with you for a few months until I figure this out? She was like, yeah, come on. Like, don't stay for too long. Like, we don't want you to live here forever, but like a couple months, totally fine. So I pack all my stuff up into my car and I, drive and move everything up to Austin. And on the way there, I saw an RV dealership. And I stopped by the RV dealership and I found, like, I was touring the RVs. It's something I did occasionally anyway, but I was like touring the RVs and I found one I really liked. It fit all the requirements that I like had listed out, and it seemed to suit me very well. I didn't purchase it that day, but on the way, like on the rest of the drive, I kept thinking about it because the salesperson had like given me all of the breakdowns and the financials, like here's the down payment, here's what the monthly payment would be, that sort of thing. And I realized that I had just moved out of my fancy apartment in Houston. Like, why was I living in a fancy apartment? I wanted a fancy apartment because woo. And I realized that the down payment was approximately 3 months of rent from my previous apartment, which I was no longer paying. And I still had my job for a few months, right? So, and then the monthly payment for the RV was a fourth, if not even a fifth, of my rent. Like, the dramatic decrease in the amount that I would be paying monthly if I moved into an RV versus another apartment I realized that it was kind of a no-brainer at that point. So it took me quitting my job for me to realize that I could have afforded it all along. And really, the only thing that was keeping me back from actually doing it was fear. I was afraid of pulling the trigger. I was afraid of, what I might encounter on the road. I'm afraid of judgment from people. I was afraid of my own, I don't know what is all I was afraid of, but I was afraid of a whole bunch of stuff. And so I never actually pulled the trigger until I realized that it was fear holding me back. And this is not something that happens just once in my life. Like, this has happened multiple times. In fact, every time that I'm like making a big change and I'm like really proud of how I did it, it's due to me realizing that I'm just afraid of something and I just need to do it anyway. And so the quote, everything you ever wanted is waiting for you on the other side of fear, is so true for so many people. And if we can get to know ourselves better, like if we can really dig into our own minds and understand what we're afraid of, what makes us tick, why do we do the things we do, why do we not do the things that we not do, even if we want to, and by understanding those parts of ourselves, we can make so much more forward progress in our lives. And that's what Soul Cards is all about. That's what free writing is all about. That's what purpose is all about. I wrote a book called Soul Cards, which dives into this. If you are interested in pursuing this thought a little bit more, the link will be in the description. So my question to you today is, what are you afraid of that's holding you back? Is there anything that you really want that you could have if you really truly were honest with yourself, but you're just afraid of? Afraid of success, afraid of failure, afraid of danger, whatever. What are you afraid of? And with that, I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, have fun, and cheers. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe.